All right, Shalom. Want to start out by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. And it's the brothers from GMS Atlanta. You know, we got a good topic for you, Akim, you know, on the way to camp. And it's just entitled, you know, be prepared for all manner of warfare. All right, which we're going to go through a list of these different forms of warfare, because when you think about war, a lot of people that's not studied in the forms and the different aspects of war will look at war as just a general, just on a general base, as just war. But when you break up warfare, it breaks into a lot of different branches, man. Branches and twigs and things of that nature, because war is a collective thing. Before, say for instance, before Russia and the United States, which that's the times that we living in too, this is a form of warfare, but before they actually directly go to war, what is it before that? You have information war, resources distribution, which is a form of warfare, proxy wars, all right? And like I said, info wars and things of that nature. They have special agents, which that's a form of information, taking spies, going in certain countries and things of that nature. All right, before they actually take flight and actually engage in direct warfare. Because before you actually fight somebody physically, the best thing to do is to analyze the opponent through all different manners and aspects, so that you can understand his strengths, his weaknesses, where he gets ticked off at, where he's like I said, where he's weak at, who's his allies, who's his foes, what countries can actually benefit him, which ones can cripple him. All right, that's why certain countries, before they actually physically fight another country, a lot of times they pick off the many countries that's associated with them. So we just say all that just to, you know, well, I say all that, and you know, the brothers that's actually backing me up in the spirit, of course, but we say all that just to say, you know, to be prepared, all right? Because the warfare that we fighting is a spiritual warfare. We fighting all manner of war too. Here it is, it's flu season, everybody's getting sick. That's a form of Esau's war, man, all right? He's not just going to directly stab you with the sword. Esau was known through his subtlety in the garden. The serpent was known to be more subtle than any other beast in the garden, all right? The word subtle means to be under the web. He knows how to snake and to work around you, all right? Because Esau's not trying to get his fingers dirty, so to speak. He's not trying, just like when you kill somebody, or you actually, you have what they call them, bounty hunters. A lot of times they'll kill somebody and they don't have any type of fingerprints, no type of evidence, no type of foot trails. So that's the same thing that Esau is trying to do. But we have to be aware of all manner of warfare that we're actually fighting, because this definitely is a battle through all aspects, and you got to be circumspect, all right? You got that in
1 Timothy?
Yep.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 18. This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare.
See that? Through the prophecies, all right? This is Paul speaking to Timothy. He said, through the prophecies, thou mightest war a good warfare. So he told Timothy that he's going to fight a battle. He told Timothy and the men around him that the war that they're fighting is going to be a harsh and direct battle. All right, Ephesians 6. And he goes into the depths of the type of battle in Ephesians, the 6th chapter. All right, because when Paul was fighting, it spoke about how he was fighting in peril with his countrymen, men on the outside, men in the inside, spiritual warfare, sicknesses. There were certain men, such as Aphrodite, that was sick, which was a form of demons jumping on them through sicknesses and ailments. Those are all the different type of wars that we're going to fight in this thing, man. And you got to be prepared for that. All right, because the devil, as it is written, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So this devil has power over the elements. All right, he's known as Satan, the prince of power of the air. When you go through the air, all throughout the atmosphere, what is Esau doing? Tainting it with chemtrails and mercury. All right, and germ warfare, which that's a form of warfare, spreading germs and diseases. That's how he took the tribe of Gad out. All right, we was talking about that earlier, through smallpox, influenza, all right, and various other diseases. So he's utilizing that same tactic. All right, you got some more? In that Ephesians?
Let me go to that Ephesians. This is Ephesians chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might.
And then the Hebrew word for strong is kazak. You got to be strong in the Lord. You got to be strong in Yahweh Shem Shah. And you have to be prepared, man. You have to condition yourself for the battle. Just like on the battlefield, before you actually fight that battle, you go to boot camp, of course. You get trained. You learn how to utilize your weapon. You say you do your cadences, you do your quotes, and different things of that nature. You learn how to move as a cohesive unit. You get ranked accordingly, whatever according to the gift that you actually have, and then you get dispersed on the battlefield. All right, and the actions that you make on the battlefield can either dictate life or death. So you have to be aware. You have to be circumspect on each and every decision. There's a lot of people that fight on the battlefield, and before they actually directly fight the troops, they'll die from snakes, they'll die from the environment and the habitat itself. We have to be in the mindset of making it to the end, man. And in order to make it to the end, you have to be aware of all manner of things, man. You have to be circumspect. Look at the trees. All right, what's in the trees? Ambushes. All right, just being aware of certain men around you, making sure that they prep for the war, make sure they got their eyes all around, so to speak, being circumspect, looking in the right direction when you looking in the left. You got eyes in the front, you got eyes in the back. All right, because everybody can't look towards one direction. That's how you get shot down from the back. All right, and you have to, like I said, you have to look at all degrees. All right, you have to have that mindset of an owl, looking at actually watching at night, so that you don't be overthrown at night. You got certain countries that war at night, some war in the cold, some war when it's extremely hot. All right, and Esau, he's gonna war where his strength lies. He's gonna try to break us down in a time where we're weak, just like during the time of Maccabees, when Antiochus and the men around him was taking out the Israelites. They said that they was coming down on them on the Sabbath day, which is a form of warfare. They knew, obviously they knew that in the Sabbath is a day of rest, and we couldn't take up arms, so they was killing us on that day. So this devil, he studies stratagem. All right, he studies the art of warfare. He studies. He's a military expert. We have to be the same way, man. You keep going up. Yeah, you got it.
Can you reread that? Yeah, Ephesians 6 and 10.
It's Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and
it's like, go to continue.
And in the power of his might.
And that's really, the brothers, really going into beautifully, preparing for this war. But one thing you got to realize, that's really Esau's main tactic, man, is separating us from our power source. Our power source being Yahweh Shem Shah.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. But that's, I just want him to reread that, because that's really should be your main thing. Your main thing is to connect to your power source, being Yahweh Shem Shah. And just like the brothers going into being prepared on all fronts, more or less, and understanding the full encompassing of this fight, of this battle, of this war. And as you preparing yourself, you need to be preparing yourself through Yahweh Shem Shah, praying for him to build you up on these fronts and build your defenses on all levels.
Exactly.
Because like I said, Esau's main that's the main reason why he tried to hide so heavily the fact that we are the Israelites, because he knows as long as that we're separated from our power source, he has the advantage, man. But we have to go back to our power source to be prepared on these things. Don't try to rely on your own might and your own strength and like, yeah, I know Esau doing this, I know he doing that, I'm gonna do this. Really, your main thing should be, and your main focus should be on, I'm going to the Lord and relying on my faith and building my works to be prepared for this fight.
That's right. Con. And before you go on, I just wanted to read this out to the Akim. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, of course, but it's under Wikipedia, and it goes into the different formats of warfare. And I'm just gonna read a couple of them, so brothers could get the idea of really where we coming from, the different categories. And they have on this list, they have guerrilla warfare, they have aerial warfare, airborne warfare, which that's the tactic that Esau is using now. That's why it's being a mass amount of people that's getting sick, man. That's why we, through the spirit of the Yahweh Shem Shah, through the apostles on down, that's why we do videos telling brothers to build their immune system. Because it's even a battle within your spirit, man. within your body itself. That's why the immune is a defender. You have to cleanse and try to purge your system so that them demons don't even get in there, man. You can't be aware, like the scripture say, be not ignorant of a small matter or a great. You have a lot of men that'll jump up. Well, that's not the most important. It is the most important, of course. All right. When you think about it in a form of warfare, the little things break down a system, man. It's not always about just toppling a system and overthrowing it through one strike. It's all about the many incisions, hitting the system at the weak points, and then it totally collapses. All right, which is that strategy of warfare, and that's why we doing this lesson so brothers can really think on a holistic base, or thinking on a whole when you thinking about warfare. You want to say something?
Now I was just gonna say, with that point you just brought out about this flu thing that's going on. People are literally dying from the flu. But like you said, the apostles and elders, what are they trying to really instill in us? Focusing on learning the medicines of the earth, the herbs, certain things you can take to strengthen your immune system to fight off these germs and that type of warfare. Meanwhile, what are the mass of people doing? They running back to Daddy Esau to get these flu shots. When it's coming out, more and more that these flu shots are actually making people sick. And even to the point, the more you get a flu shot, more often over years, it actually increases your chances of getting a serious disease.
Yeah, it makes you more susceptible to death, man. And a lot of times, even I can speak for myself, and I know brothers can have testimonies and things of that nature, but I don't get flu shots, of course. And that's not the point that I was making, but I don't really get sick like that. Just taking natural stuff, I don't get sick like that, And I'm pretty sure a lot of brothers can attest for themselves they don't get sick like that due to the fact that we're actually taking the herbs and actually living a more natural form of life. And Esau through the battlefield, all right, which we were just now reading, through his war tactics, that's why he sets up these pharmaceutical companies to sicken and to break down the immune system of these different people. So when the time of martial law and all these things hit, he's gonna just steamroll over these people, man. I got a little bit more. It says, like I said, aerial warfare, airborne warfare, amphibious warfare, armored warfare, biological warfare, which goes into the body, if I'm not mistaken, chemical warfare, cyber warfare, which goes through the internet. Because a lot of times these intelligences, the so-called white man, he'll set up these alternative GMS camps, so to speak, these IUICs and all these different camps that's trying to break up and it's trying to rearrange the doctrine. That's a form of warfare. That's why the scriptures say to be defenders of the faith. Whenever you defend something, you're actually fending off the attacking, like the scriptures speak about the fiery darts of Satan. All right, because these different people are trying to penetrate our barriers. And we have to defend on all aspects, man. You can't put your shield down. You can't put your sword down. All right, and you can't be dozing off on the job. You can't doze off on a battle. You watched that on the movie Platoon. You had the individual, he was supposed to be keeping watch. He dozed off and one of his men got shot down, man. Any second, when you sleeping, the other oppositions is up. All right, when you resting, when you unaware, they're being aware at the times where you're weak at, man, so that they could actually have a leverage, and they could break you down when you're not paying attention. That's why when you off guard, you have to set up things when men is on guard. If you're not watching, per se, so to speak, other men around you have to watch. That's why the Spirit has it where we set up group texts and things of that nature. Where if you may be doing a lesson of things of that nature, but brothers is constantly posting articles. Brothers is constantly throwing up updated information on the what's going on in the world, what's going on in Russia, what's going on at the CDC, all right, what's going on geopolitically, all right, what policies is being passed around the world, all right, what's going on in the stock market, all these different things we have to be aware of, all right. Like I said, cyber warfare, economic warfare, and we are economy. The word economic goes back to oikoumene, which means pertaining to the house. This is the house, and Esau is looking to break this house apart. And a lot of times when you're breaking down economies, what do? Sometimes you besiege them. Sometimes you make sure the resources don't get to them. What's our resources? This bread and butter, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Esau tries to attack your mind to the point where you can't study like that.
Can I make a point?
Yeah, you got it out.
With Esau's economic warfare, he's giving you indications that the economy's good. I read that the unemployment rate is its lowest since it's ever been in a few years. They're also mentioning job growth and job development. You even got here in Atlanta with the talk about Amazon coming here. So Esau's presenting something appealable to the people, giving them an idea. Okay, the economy, we heard about it, but it's okay. But meanwhile, on the other side, you see all these store closings going on.
Right.
All these major companies closing. So he's giving people, through this warfare that he's creating, as we're mentioning, he's giving you he's double-minded. He's giving you all this good talk, but we really know deep down inside, through his war plans, he's planning to collapse this society.
That's right. As it is written in Revelation 12:12. And just like the brother said, he's just putting out a lure, or he's putting out all kind of he's putting a shiny light in front of people to distract them, not knowing that in the background, like the scriptures say, at night they work wickedness. Esau's preparing for the battle. He's preparing for this direct warfare. Because before direct warfare, you have indirect warfare. You could keep going on in Ephesians. It's still some more different categories, but for the sake of time, we're not going to go through everything. But it's important to learn these different things and learn all degrees and aspects to see how Esau thinks and understand the strategy of war and the dynamics of the art of war. Because just like everything, it's an art to it, man. It's an art to taking somebody out, Just like if you fight in the military, or if you fighting in the UFC, you don't just a lot of times you don't do headshots. You figure out where they weak at. You actually size them up. You see their arm distance, see their swiftness. That's why a lot of times in the beginning of the fight, a lot of times they won't exchange a lot of blows. A lot of times they'll just weigh each other out, see their reaction levels, see how evasive they are.
It's a feeling out process.
Filling out, exactly. Then they'll hit them in certain places, see how they take that, see how they feel when they, then they try them out in the grappling. Wherever they weak at, they're gonna, if they see that they have the leverage and they see they have the dominance, where they weak at, they're gonna attack them all the time in that area. All right. If you a bad boy with them hands and you can't wrestle, hey, the contender is gonna wrestle, man. He's gonna take a couple blows to the face until he can get in the inside and grapple and take you down, man. He put you in a Kimura or something like that, and he have you got them tapping out. Now you knew how to throw them hands, but you knew how to fight, so to speak. You was pretty advanced in the arts of martial arts, so to speak. But you just was weak in that area. That's why you got to stimulate those areas, man. You got to be aware of all aspects so that you don't be broken down in no way or shape or form. All
right, this is Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Yep. And that word wiles goes back to tricks. So you have to be strapped and ready, man. Suited and booted. All right, so you don't get tagged and bagged. And when you suited up, what you got? You got your armor. Well, the scripture's gonna go into the breastplates, the armbands, the helmet. You got a lot of guys that be flashy and think they could go on a battlefield without their helmet, man. You better put your helmet on.
Right.
You better have everything on, man, because this is a serious battle, and we can't. Another thing too with warfare, you can't underestimate the enemy that you're fighting, man. You overestimate them so that you could look at all aspects and expect the unexpected. All right.
That's a beautiful point.
Gone. Just keep going up.
All right, this is Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Yeah, we're not fighting in this carnal life, man. We're not fighting in this carnal dimension that everybody perceives as. This is a spiritual warfare. All right, it's demons, it's principalities, evil spirits that's jumping on us and trying to plague our minds and throw us off through slothfulness, through anger and contentions within one another. Going back to what the brother said, divide and rule. Esau is trying to divide the forces. He's trying to divide the friendship of the brothers and the men of the Lord, so that he could break us down individually. Hey, just like with lions, how lions actually war, how they actually take down prey. What do? They figure out the ones that's gonna go, the animal, whether it's a gazelle or a sheep, they wait for it to go astray so that they could attack it, man. So you gotta be in that mindset of understanding that this devil is basically laying low right now. He's not gonna show his face. He's a lion. A lion, what does it do? It creeps down and it disguises itself in the bushes until it has enough, it's close enough in a close distance to burst, man.
If I can say, he's a snake.
Yep.
Because if you're familiar with snakes, I used to have a pet snake in the world. Like snakes, like you were saying earlier, are very subtle, and they really are ambush creatures. Like they're gonna try to camouflage as much as possible. And when it sees prey, its eyes are fully on the prey, and every movement it makes is towards attacking that prey.
Exactly.
But it don't strike that prey until it's in striking distance. It actually sets itself up and positions itself to when that prey makes a mistake, it strikes.
Exactly. Beautiful. Come. You got some more lot?
Come. I'll start from the top. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of
principalities, powers, against, keep going.
Against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
Against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Because this world lives in darkness. It lives in evil and sin. And Esau, his main objective is to have us to sin so that we could be distanced from the Lord, and the Lord's holy hedge will be separated from us so he can attack. Just like the brother said, Esau is disguising itself through these different elements. And that's why we always speak so highly about the movie The Matrix, because that was a spiritual movie, man. Morpheus basically gave Neo the rundown on the matrix that he living in and let him know everybody around him is subject to Satan. And we have a strong objective, and we got to keep our eye on the prize and be aware that anybody can fall under the wiles of the devil and be used as an extension for the spiritual demon Satan to overthrow you. Your woman, that's one of the that's a form of warfare. That's why Esau captivated our women through this life. That's why these women have all these rights. Not because he loves women. He don't give a hell about that. He wants to break us down as a nation. He wants to weaken us, weaken our morale, weaken our strength as an economy, so to speak, as a people.
I just wanted to say a quick point. They're breaking down the Israelite, man. We're driving right past the MLK Center, man, and he used that to totally wipe down these Negroes down here, man. To believing that you have to be equal to this devil. You know, it's not just his chemical. You know, he uses all these other movements to get you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans thinking the other way, like we just went into. It takes you away from your power source.
Exactly.
And if I can say too, real quick, that's actually a form of Esau. And then you go, look at this fucking nigga woman with an Edomite. But that's a form of Esau's witchcraft, because the whole civil rights movement is predicated on us being equal to the so-called white man. And if you're trying to seek equality, you're pretty much admitting that you're beneath them. Yeah. But if we actually know ourselves and know our power source, you know that you're actually superior to all these heathens, including the so-called white man.
Beautiful. But that's how Esau works, man. Through his devices, through his witchcraft, just like the brother said, because he's a psychological genius. In order to beat him, you have to beat him with the spirit, which psychological goes back to the pertaining to the spirit. What's the spirit? John 6:63, the words. Understanding these words, you can understand how to utilize your sword so that you can fight back. All right, because these demons is fighting against us, and we can't fight back if we don't have a sword to fight. All right, this is the sword. It speaks about that in Hebrews, the 4th chapter, 4 and 12. So that you can fend that, because even when you fighting, you actually pierce with the sword, you slice, you defend with the sword. It's all kind of ways, all kind of different things you could do when you have that sword in your hand. All right, keep going.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yeah, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The Illuminati, the spiritual demon Satan. All right, all the grandeur of this world, man. The witchcraft, all these different things that's being projected through the media to be pumped in our mind to break us down. This is the condition of the battle. Keep going. And we have to be conditioned. We have to condition ourselves and be aware that everything that we fallen into can be potential danger, man. We're never in a safe zone when you're in the battlefield. And we in enemy lines. We in enemy territory right now. So you got to keep your head on the swivel, man. Tread lightly. Keep going.
Verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
And that's what it's all about, withstanding, man. You know, keeping yourself strong and always marching forward day by day. Every day you get up, you progressively moving closer and closer in the enemy lines, man. Until the point where we will have the position of assault, man. It's coming to them times. But we have to march forward and forward. We can't move back. As it is written in Hebrews, we're not of them that look back, but we believe in the saving of the souls. That's why we go to camp to gather what? Troops. We gathering troops for the battle, man. And after that 144,000 is sealed, hey, and we waiting for our king. What's the president? What is he over in the military?
Commander-in-chief.
Yeah, that's Yahweh Shai. He's the commander-in-chief. He's over the whole military. And what does it say? Wait on me till I rise to the prey. Because the Most High has to, through the Yahweh Shai, of course, he has to initiate that battle. All right? And what he say? Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. With thee will I break down the nations. You go ahead, Ak.
And you know what? That's beautiful, Ak. But you know what it is, too? It's really about, right now, the troops that's getting ready. Like you said, we go out here to fish for the men who are ready, who want to prepare themselves for the battle. Once the soldiers are ready, our commander's gonna be here, and it's gonna be time to get shit on and popping.
Yeah,
man.
that's right. God, beautiful. Yeah, so that's the times that we live in, man. And like I said earlier, we just always got to keep our eyes aware. You know, we're not in the time of rejoicing. When you watch 300, you see after they won that first battle, how everybody in the Spartans army was rejoicing. But Leonidas, he was very solemn and serious because he knew he still had a lot more battles to win before, you know, he actually dominated the war, so to speak. What they say, you may lose the battle, but you win the war, so to speak. Even though you win a battle, that don't mean you win the war. Even though you may take down a couple demons and you may, accomplish certain tests, you still got other tests to come. So you have to sit down and be aware, man. Got some more?
Let me see. Verse 14. Stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
And when you gird up your loins, that's going to war, man. It's a way you actually wrap your garment up and you around your loins so it don't get caught up and you can actually move swifter on the battlefield. So we got to gird up, man, because we're on the battle. This ain't the area of peace, man. Scripture says no peace to the wicked. Every day is a time of war. And you, in the spirit, you can't never take your helmet off. You got to have that helmet on you even when you sleeping. You got to have that sword in your sheath right beside you even when you laying down, man. Even when you napping, even when you eating. Your sword shouldn't be on the ground. You shouldn't lose your sword, man. Because you ain't going to get another brother that's going to give you a sword. Hey, brother, I lost my sword. You think I could get yours? Hey, what the scripture say in Matthew the 25th chapter? To go to the sellers and buy? That's the oil, which is the oil is synonymous with the sword, this word, man. You have to keep this and you got to hold it dearly, man. Because this is how we're going to win this battle. Keep going.
Verse 15, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Yep, which is the holy words, the good news. At the end of the day, we know we're going to win this battle if we remain. We have faith in that. Keep going.
16, above all, taking the shield of faith.
And above all, taking the shield of faith, your belief. That's how you accomplish the battle through your belief, man. You got to have a strong heart. You got to have a lion heart when you in the midst of the battle. Even if it's 3,000 to 300,000, you don't back down. You push forward. Hey, it's been a lot of wars where the troops will number the men 5 to 1, and they still win. Hey, when you read in the scriptures, it speaks about how the mighty men and the men of Joshua's army, so to speak, how they would take certain nations to flight. We got to be in that same mentality. It said, 100? One shall put 100 to flight. Keep going.
Wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
Yeah, meaning any type of fire and any type of wickedness this devil comes with, we're going to be able to knock it down. All right, we're going to be impenetrable. All right. Nothing will be able to break us down, but we have to have faith. We have to be strapped, just like I said, with faith, with wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, understanding the good news and understanding all these different things, so that when the battle actually takes itself and it becomes direct, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, through you prepping, you're gonna be ready, man. You're gonna be in full confidence that you're gonna win that battle. All right, because this is the assurance, man. We're not fighting to be frustrated or hesitant on the battle, hiccuping and being scared. We fighting to win, man. That's why we do this. Scriptures speak about confidence in the hope that Paul speaking, that he might be saved, or that I might be saved. So we have to be confident. The word confident means with faith. We have to have faith that we're going to win this thing, man. All right. Got some more?
Verse 17, and take the helmet of salvation.
Yep, because at the end of the day, we fighting for salvation. We fighting for salvation for ourselves, our women, our family. All right, the 1/3, the elect, the 144,000, our nation on the whole, man. That's what salvation, that's the purpose, man. So we could go back to our holy land. Because just like I said earlier, we in enemy territory right now. We've been taken captive. All right, we actually fighting for our forefathers, man. The ones that actually died in slavery. We fighting for our legacy. We fighting for our heritage. Keep going.
And the sword of the Spirit.
And the sword of the Spirit, Hebrews 4:12, these words. All right, got to keep the sword on you. Got to know how to use the sword, utilizing it to maximum advantage, to the point where nobody will break you down in a battle, man. It don't matter if you fighting against 10 men, man. You killing them, you killing all 10 of them. You got to have that mindset, you know. You actually having those 10 men actually fleeing from your power because they see that you're a man of war. You got to be like David's mighty men in the spirit. Keep going.
Which is the word of the Most High.
Which is the word of the Most High. Keep going.
Verse 18, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit.
And that's the main thing, to pray. You got to pray. You got to keep that fuel in your system, man. All right, you got to keep that oil running, because you could go out, you know, the oil, just like with everything, you know, when you utilize fuel, it's going to diminish after a while. After your engine is running and after you actually, you know, using gas, the gas will go out, but you have to refuel, man. Keep going.
It says praying always.
You can't be riding on an empty tank in this thing, man. Check your gauges. All right, you're gonna see when that light is on. What is that? A check engine light. When that check engine light come on, you got to diagnose that thing, man. See what's going on with your car, man. Your spiritual car, so everything will be running like a well-oiled machine. All right, so in the midst of the battle, you'll be able to save yourself and the men around you. That's what it's about. Keep going. Because if you make mistakes and you make young mistakes on a battle, you could die with 3 men around you.
Yeah.
From just a foolish mistake, you breaking and going AWOL, and you take 3 men with you, all 3 of them men gonna die with you, man. Okay. Just off of your foolishness. So you got to stick tight with the body, man. Stick tight with the spirit, and listen to the words of the Most High. Follow your commanders. Follow your leaders. That's another thing too. A lot of men like to be insubordinate, rebellion, or rebellious, man. Follow follow the path of the spirit, so that you'll actually get into safety. Keep going.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Yeah, it says watching. Hey, that's one of the major things on the battlefield, man. Watching, all times. All right, whether it's cold out there, whether it's hot as hell, you always gotta watch, man. You always gotta have a watchman. It's certain kingdoms, well, really, with all kingdoms have watchmen. That's why you have the news. News stands for what? Northeast, south, and west. They look through all directions. What's going on in Asia? You have the U.S. news report information in Russia, China, England, Bosnia, the Arab lands. You know, so we have to have that same mindset, looking at the geopolitical realm, because all these different things is gonna, you know, show the times that we're living in. Everything is an indicator that we're actually coming closer and closer to the time of Jacob's trouble. Simone?
I just ended off on 19.
Okay.
And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel.
And that's why we open our mouths boldly when we do what? Go to the highways and byways. What did Paul speak about, how he shunned not to declare the whole gospel? This is the end where the gospel is going to speak. The prophecy is going to speak. And as a prophet, what's your job? To prophesy. Scripture say, who can but prophesy? This word has to be a fire in your bones where you push this ministry. Because just like I said earlier, and it tells you that in Isaiah the 61st chapter, you ain't supposed to stop until we actually get to the Holy Land. All right, until we actually home. All right? to the point where we're actually ruling and basically on top of the battle, so to speak, where our mountain is established, in, like it says in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, above all other mountains and hills. So, you know, that's all we have for you, Akim. Hopefully you brothers were edified. We're going to end it by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom, Akim.
Shalom, Akim.